Hi, I'm Evie Watkins, and I'll be walking you through my journey as an artist in my time here at JPCatholic. So this first piece here is from my drawing and perspective class. The project was to incorporate all our perspective that we've learned through the quarter. So I drew a wedding. In this, you can see there's a lot of line work, which is using rulers because they're super important when drawing in perspective. If something is off, then the eye won't catch it and it won't make sense. So it's really important in drawing in perspective to use those rulers. There's places in here where I wasn't able to use the ruler the right way. Like for instance, right here, the window looks completely crooked and it doesn't work for the eye. And I really wanted to focus on seeing the perspective not only in a building, but also past the building into the landscape behind. It makes it easier for the eye to understand that this is not just a 2D piece, because it's a 2D piece of paper. It makes it feel more 3D, and that's why we use perspective in a lot of art. This second piece is also from drawing in perspective. For this one, we were supposed to do a city street looking down. The point of view is like being a bird on one of the poles to look out over the city, like this bird next to it. Rulers are very important. So something that is really important when drawing buildings, and especially buildings with lots of windows, is they should all be going to this one center point of where you're looking. Yeah, since it was my first class for just perspective, we were really just focusing on perspective. So it wasn't the shading or anything that we were thinking about. I didn't really understand what shading was or how I should go about it. If I could redo it, I would definitely think about where the sun is. And I would make sure I had shadows for the buildings going across onto the other buildings, as well as showing where the shine is off of the windows. This third piece is from my class Drawing on Location, where we would take a few little field trips out, and we had 30 minutes to an hour where we had to go different places and pick a drawing that we wanted to do, where it would be 1 point perspective. So looking a building straight on. These are a few of my sketches that I did in like 15 minutes of different places on Grand Avenue. Out of these 5, I had to choose one and spend 30 minutes on a bigger sketch of it. So this was the reference that I had going home and drawing this bigger one from. The reason that I chose to draw this building was because I really liked the repetitive windows and siding on the building. So this is actually one of the first few drawings that I did of a building without using a ruler. So we had to just use what we learned through all the other classes and just know what would make sense and see it how our eyes see it. Something I'm really proud of is the metal around the window. It was really fancy and detailed, and I really wanted to try to capture that in this, which I think I did a pretty good job of doing, especially with the shadows and trying to make it look 3D. This last piece is from my Drawing on Location class as well, and is in Old Town San Diego. This is one of the final pieces that I did for this class, and so I felt more comfortable adding things or leaving other things out in order to help with how it looked. For example, the sidewalk was not there, but it made you also go back into space and show that it's a house in a town and people can get to the house. I also added the lamppost and the fence going around the house to show more perspective and make the viewer feel like they are looking at this house over the fence or walking past. I also edited the bushes next to the house. In real life, they were tall and almost reached the top. So I've shortened them so you could see the perspective of the bricks as well. Like the brick, I also wanted to try and get the old feeling of the wood of the house and the roof of the house. Any part of this is supposed to be Old Town San Diego, so I really wanted to try and put as much detail in it as I could and show where the grain of the wood was going and really work on my shading technique. I actually want to be an animator, or specifically a character rigger, which is someone who puts bones inside of a character for an animator to animate. I really didn't want to take illustration at first. I didn't think I needed it or that it would really help me in anything that I wanted to do, but I've learned so much. Drawing people and the different poses that they can be in helps me understand how the body can move, which is very important for someone who is rigging. Every single drawing that I've done, every sketch that I've done has helped me in different ways. It's really cool how much I've grown in all of that.
Everything clicked into place for me when I took this one class called Design for the Screen. It gave me a graphic design toolkit that I was able to pull from to evoke a lot of the similar things that drew me to film, creating emotion, telling a story, and it really became the first craft that I felt compelled to pursue outside of